Hi there, this is Erin Lynch of Scorned Clothing. Thank you very, very much for your purchase of the fitted dress pattern known as Barbara. I will be walking you through the instructions today. Before we start, we're going to want to make sure that your fabric that you've chosen for your project has at least 60% stretch. In this little clip, I'm demonstrating how to determine that. I've cut myself a 5-inch swatch. What I'm going to do is anchor one side and then stretch the other side and see how many inches past the original 5 that I cut that we get. Right here, I've got 4, which gives me 80% stretch. That's a little bit overdone though, so I try and do it again, and I've got about 3 comfortably. That's 60% stretch, which was more than enough for my project. Please note the direction of the grain line represented by the arrow stricken through the name and directions on each pattern piece. Important note before you cut out your pieces, the stretch in your fabric must run horizontal to the body. It cannot run in the same direction as the grain line noted on the pattern pieces, or it won't work. When cutting out your pattern pieces, please note that the front is slightly smaller than the back. This is so that the side seams don't feel awkward. Depending upon the season that you're going to wear the dress in, you may decide to omit the sleeves. They're completely optional. Once you have both the main body pieces cut out, line them up, right sides facing each other, and then clip or pin the opening from the neck, each side, all the way down to the shoulders, as indicated here. Sew both those seams with your choice of an overlocking stitch, a serger, or a zigzag stitch. Now we're going to open it up so that we have the front and the back separated, and the neckline in the middle. Remembering which one is the front, we're going to take the sleeves, match up, always right sides together, front facing front, and we're going to pin and clip those in place for sewing in the exact same manner as we sewed up the shoulder and neck seam. Now it should look kind of like a cross, with each of the arms across from each other and each of the main body pieces across from each other. And then just sew the arms on using the same stitch method that you used to sew the 2 body pieces together. In this video I'm using a serger, but you can also decide to use a zigzag stitch, or if your sewing machine has one, an overcast stitch. This is my favorite way to sew up anything with sleeves and a main body that's not overly complicated. What we're going to do is we're actually just going to flatten it out from the neck and shoulders down so that the side seams match from arms all the way down the side of the dress. Now, I like to start at the bottom of the dress hemline and work my way up and into the armpit and down the sleeve. I recommend this way because you're going to want to try and fold the arm seams towards the arms themselves. Now, there's a bunch of different ways that you can finish knits. One of which is with my handy dandy serger. You can do a ruffled kind of finish by stretching the fabric before you put it into the machine, and you'll need to have it set to its densest stitch quality. However, knits do very, very well if you don't have a serger by just turning them over and stitching with a double needle. It's counterintuitive, but use a shorter stitch because it'll force the bobbin to zigzag harder and you'll get more stretch out of it. So if you want, just do that. It finishes up really nicely. And that's the result of the ruffled sort of edge. If you have a serger or access to one, you can do that. Now we're so close to wearing this out. All we got to do is not burn it with our iron. Everything looks nice, give it a little press, press down your seams, but knits of this sort of stretch quality, I almost guarantee you there's going to be some plastic content, some synthetic fibers, if not entirely synthetic. Be very, very careful with setting your iron. Just test it out on our swatch, or take some scraps and make sure that you can test it out. Press for a while, just be really careful with that. I've ruined garments before that you spent some time on, and then all of a sudden you go to iron them and finish them off, and the synthetic fibers, man, they melt. So don't do that to yourself. If you can find like an arm of this is actually the backing off a chair. I gotta make myself a little arm thing for ironing, but yeah. And then after that, you're done. Go wear it out. Send me pics. Happy sewing, guys.